Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Almost Anything Goes podcast, where we dive into topics that matter, the conversation that sparks debate, the stories that inspire change. I'm your host, Miranda, your Sparkle Joy coach. And along with me, my wonderful co-host, we have God's favorite.
Yes, I am. I am his favorite over you. No. Hey, what's up, everyone? Hey, welcome. Let's get it going. I'm excited to be here today. And yes, keep remembering, I'm God's favorite, and you can be God's favorite too.
And we have none other than Stacy and Shenanigans.
Hey, happy to be here. Good to see you guys. Ready to get started. Let's go. Oh,
That's right. And last but never least, we have Marseille, the rebel advocate.
hi, y'all.
And that's what we're going to get out, the rebellious one, the rebel. We are super excited because today it's about the ethics of catfishing and ghosting. Is online dating broken? And so we are going to talk all about it. I am excited with the rise, and I am sure you all will be able to, or at least, well, let's just say for those who are not married, you'll definitely should be able to relate about the rise of all of these dating apps. You have social media. More and more people are turning to the internet to find love. But with this, there can become ethical dilemmas from catfishing, where someone creates this false identity to deceive others. Wait a minute, have y'all been catfishes? I'm just playing. Or ghosting, where someone suddenly cuts off all communication without even an explanation. We'll explore the impact of these behaviors and what they say about the modern day of dating culture. Now, to kick things off, let's talk about who's done online dating in their lifetime. I'll start. I have done some online dating myself. I have some mixed reviews. But what about the rest of you? Let's start with Stacy.
Okay, so I'm going to give you full disclosure here, right? So I have tried the dating app, right? So funny story. You know how they ask you all those like 35 million upfront questions? I failed upfront. I failed the upfront questions. So I'm didn't. Why haven't I online dating? They wouldn't let me in. Or yes, I've tried online dating. You know how that reality show where they're like, oh, you're not ready? Like a message like that. I was like, answer the questions truthfully, but no, thank you.
Wow.
Never.
Wow.
This is my first hearing this. Literally, I didn't even know they did that.
Didn't know that? So, and
I didn't know that.
Be the only one out there, guys, that this has happened to.
Oh, you all, please hit us up if you've had that experience. Oh my goodness. What about you, Marcia?
I have done online dating. Yeah, I have done it. I'm still shocked. I'm so shocked. I did not know that the dating app would tell you, no, you're not ready for this.
It was all a shock.
I don't know if I can't remember the verbatim, the message, but that's how I interpret. No, you're not looking for anybody. What are you doing? They asked like a series of questions, and I was like, yeah, no, this, that, and there it was right there on the screen and like,
since she's so fancy, it had to be a fancy dating app that was like, no, what you want is not available here.
Actually, I know for a fact that this has happened to someone other than me.
That's
So,
possible.
Put it in the drop it in the comment.
I feel like, listen, you all have our shenanigan inks and shit up. Can't wait to hear. Because I've never heard that. However, what you're saying, God's favorite, may ring truth depending on what particular type of app. So we're not going to throw any apps out there because we're not promoting any specific one. However, we're going to make sure that we get the deets. Audience, we're going to get the deets from Shenanigans Inc. some kind of way to find out, was it one of those super, super fancy ones? Or, because we're thinking maybe not your run-of-the-mill ones, but who knows? But definitely shout us out. What about you, God's favorite? Any online dating for you?
As you can tell from the gray in my beard, I've been out of this dating game for a long time. So no, but no, I have a whole slew of friends. I have family members. I won't name them because I don't want to put them out there. My family member actually ended up marrying their person. Dating apps can be a great thing or not so great thing, but not me personally. No, I never got into that game. I never had to. I'm an old school guy.
Okay. So we have 2 that have done it. 1 tried, but that kid got dudes neither later on. And 1 that was like, no, I'm old school. I pick them up in the grocery store, pick them up in fish markets, baby.
Not the fish market.
Yeah. Okay, now we'll move on. You all have brought me to tears. Stacy, give us a brief overview of what catfishing is.
Catfishing. It is, I would say in my words, it's basically, I do have some formal definition. If we need to go to the field guide, we can. But in my words, it is an attempt to deceive another. And they could do this via a different picture of themselves. It's usually done online. A different picture of themselves, a whole different persona. No, I'm not married. Yes, I'm married. Or no, it's usually no, I'm not married. Or I am your age. Just set to deceive the other person. And it could, in some cases, can be taken to the extreme, especially when we're talking about kids that shouldn't be online. So I would say it's just out to deceive the other person, and you're totally putting up fake pictures, or you're totally a fake, with the whole fake identity, fictitious identity.
Ooh, definitely sounds vicious, and full of deception. What about you, Orvin? What about ghosting?
Ooh, boo, scary. Ghosting can be scary for some people. If I could hit the button fast enough, I'll show you what ghosting actually is when I disappear out here. But no, ghosting is when, for example, I'm gonna give my own definition instead of trying to be on the thing. When you're having a communication, it could be through text, it could be through phone, it could be through relationship, some type of communication with a person, and one of the people just disappears without any explanation, without any reason why, without just all of a sudden, what happened to them? Maybe their number disappeared. They had deleted it from the system. You'd been blocked. That's ghosting. When you just up and leave a person that you've been communicating with for a short period of time. It could have been an hour, a day, or whenever, and you just left the situation without any explanation. That's ghosting. And of course, what we're talking about today, we're on the topic of dating, and it happens a lot with people trying to get out of situations. They just up and roll because communication is different. Like I said earlier, I'm an old school type of guy, so I'm more of a upfront, face-to-face communicating type of person. And with the technology that we have today, you really don't have to stay in a conversation that you don't want to stay in, and you can jump out of there and get ghosted. Real.
Yeah, it sounds like it leaves a lot of hurt feelings, definitely. At least on one part, one person's part. So with that being said, Almost Anything Goes podcast. How many of you have ghosted?
I bet you have, Rebel Advocate. I bet you have.
Miss Marseille has ghosted. Would you like
Mhm.
to share reasons behind the ghosting?
For me, ghosting usually happens either at the very beginning, for me at least, at the very beginning of conversation. So it's like the third or fifth message usually, or like the third to fifth day of messaging, one of us would, or both of us would just stop communicating with no, it doesn't, when I think of ghosting, it's not always hard feeling behind it or feelings of frustration or upset. It really is just, we don't get along. Like this isn't it. This isn't it. And we don't need to talk about it because we're also not in a relationship. So there's no need to discuss it or anything like that where you just go. Or there's a possibility of them reaching back out if I do ghost someone and they're like, hey, stop talking to me, then I'd explain more. But a lot of time, people don't even want to know why. They don't want to know why you ghosted, or if you did ghost, they're not curious to have you back.
I
Church
got a
finger?
quick question. Yeah, I got a quick question. Have any of you ever ghosted someone twice? Have you ever like, oh, I'm gonna give this a second chance, and then you like out again? I mean, it's possible. Like,
If
real.
I if I give someone a second chance, that's when it's okay, the big conversation of this isn't gonna work. You're not for me. I'm not for you. But the first time, yeah, I will go. But the second time, that's crazy business. To ghost twice in a row.
That sounds, yeah, that would bring lots of hurt feelings, resentment, anger, maybe. Interesting. I've ghosted, but never twice. And I don't know if I have to go back too far into memory banks. I don't think I've ever had the experience of ghosting and then even trying later. So I don't think I've had that experience. What about you, Shenanigans Inc.?
I have ghosted. I've done it very, like to Marcy's point, very early. Not have multiple like extensive 6 months of conversation and then there's levels to ghosting, guys. I don't. Yes, 6 months in, you're talking to somebody and then you just like vanish. That's kind of cool. But the upfront, it's usually if I get a whiff of a red flag, I feel like validated. Like I can't ghost without feeling validated. So meaning not guilty, meaning I saw a red flag and it was blatant, I'm out. Go. Early stage ghosting, I think that's a softer ghosting. Then been talking for a year and then I'm out. Nah, time to go.
Okay. I
Right?
like that.
The white thing. I'm not up there with God favorite.
It was just a question. I didn't say I did. I was curious when she brought it up. I was like, let me ask.
God's favorite, have you ghosted?
No, but I wanted to often. There are people in my life that I wish I just backed on out the situation. But like I'm gonna keep reiterating, I'm an old school guy. Back when I was in the dating pool, I just, for those who you don't know what a home telephone is, I just stopped answering that. I just stopped answering your phone call. So I guess I did. I guess you can say before the term actually existed. Yes, I did do some ghosting myself and was like, nah, boo, we good. It wasn't a use factor. It was just like, you not the potential I was looking for. So it was up. Time's up. Gotta go. No more home phone calls. The number you have reached, don't star 69. You remember back in the day we had the star 69 phone call? I'm really rating myself right now, but I'm like, we had things that were able to help us get out of it. And like make a fake page and go take a back door and still try to get back to the person. But yeah, things are different. So yeah, I probably did ghost a couple of people in my life.
Now, you bring up a really good point. Having the telephone and not answering it seems a little bit easier than having your cell phone and not answering it. And now, okay, I know a couple of people who have home phones, but there are not lots of people in this world now that has a landline.
And Marseille can maybe back me up on what I'm about to say, but people have gotten crafty. All of a sudden, if you ghost them on a text message, they find your Instagram page or one of your social media pages. Then they like, oh, you on right now. I see a green light. Oh my gosh, I saw you take a picture at the club 5 minutes ago. How come you ain't? So people have got creative. It was different when you could just not answer your home phone and say, oh, I was out, or oh, my pager went dead, the batteries died. Keep good gracious, like the stuff that we had way back in the day that is just totally different now. Like people are crafty, man. They can get around to you and find, oh, I Googled you and I found your company that you work.
Oh, that's a whole nother level.
Yeah, it's like, are we changing the conversation to be stalker at this point? But yes, you're right.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
But be up front. You like, that gotta go.
Really? Talk about Stacey's red flags.
Yep.
So with that being said, I'm curious, Marseille, do you think, let's go back to catfishing. Do you think catfishing is unethical, or are there gray areas?
It's unethical. There's no reason to be anyone but yourself. Genuinely and thoroughly. Yeah, it's a lie. Like, why lie about it? But I understand that some people, like Orvin said, it is the manipulation, like trying to find a way back into someone's life. I've heard a lot of stories about people who have started dating someone else online and they find out it's like their ex-boyfriend from 2 years ago or something like that, trying to get back into their lives. It gets crazy. I don't think that there is any justification toward the catfish.
What about, and this is just me because I'm not saying yay or nay, I'm not saying that. What about if it's a person who doesn't feel like, okay, maybe you all tell me, is this catfishing? A person who signs up for an online dating service, they really are themselves, except for they put someone else's picture out because
that is catfishing.
That's good.
It's unethical.
What if it's a similar? Not even if it's a similar.
No.
It just
if it's not you,
it's not you.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay. Can I jump in there? I'm sorry, church Frank. Can I jump in there and say, is it catfishing if the picture is an old picture of you, like from your 20s and now you're 45 or something?
Yes.
I would still say that is catfishing.
I
think if that photo is there along with photos of you at your current age, that's fine. But if you just have pictures of you when you're 20 and you're like 45 and you look completely different, it's the same. I have the same thought of the music world when people put their pictures in their biography and it's a picture from 20 years ago. And you're just like, this person singing does not look like this person on stage.
Okay.
Only acceptable reason for catfishing is if you work for the FBI, CIA, and you're chasing somebody that should not be on the internet, that doesn't understand the rules of engagement, or chasing someone too young. They deserve, and this is a public service announcement, to be catfished.
You bring up a really good point, Stacey.
Being beneficial.
You bring up a great point. Tell me, what do you think drives people to catfish others?
I think just to have the upper hand sometimes, or people are working from a point of insecurity and they have a leg up in the exchange, and then you have those that are just flat out to do harm in some way.
Young people not that I don't care about 30s and 40s and 50-year-olds. I'm not saying that. But when you get those babies and when you get those elderly people who really are looking for love and they choose to ignore every last sign that there is, it is, you all, especially if you're in my age category, listen, how many Dr. Phil's can one see? Time and time again with the more senior, and again, it doesn't have to be more senior people. It happens to everybody. But it's that ignoring of the red flags. With that, now that we're talking about ignoring for catfish of red flags, what are some of the red flags that you all would think that there are that we can let people know? I would say one is anytime, and it's always, don't give people money. If they ask for money, you turn around and head to the highway, then you ghost them, okay? Not that I'm advocating ghosting, but that would be a great advocation for ghosting. Ask me for some money. And when I say money, I mean $1, $2, $5. Ask me for anything. You
Right.
out. What, any other things?
I think a delay meeting up too soon or delay in meeting.
Oh, definitely, right? Because you don't want them, they can't actually expose who they are. Wait a minute, I can't cut my lights off. I can't do how Orvin was like he was going to disappear for ghosting. You know, you right, it's all dark and you can't see the person. You can't even tell if the person is Caucasian. You can't tell if they're African American.
Or they don't like,
They're supposed to be Hispanic. You can't tell nothing.
they delay in showing themselves or no FaceTime and only via text communication.
Because I'm out in the Middle East.
Right.
Listen, if they
I'm on a
out in the
mission.
Middle, I'm saying that's what they'll say. I have heard, you have heard all of these. I'm out
The
on an
little-
oil rig.
The Middle East, as in like
Not
Yes.
oil.
Yes.
Yes, I mean, yes. I'm telling you, people are falling for all kinds of crazy stories. I'm on an oil rig. I'm
Yeah,
not saying
I
that
think-
there aren't people on oil rigs.
I think about the Nigerian prince scams that happened a while ago. Yeah.
If they tell you, listen, people out there. If they tell you they are a prince, a queen, whatever, come on, let's just pass. And you met them. I'm not saying that money doesn't matter, but you're paying $15 a month or $30 a month, and you met. I'm just saying,
The Princess Zamunda
Prince, right? You met the
The
Princess
Princess Zamunda.
Zamunda.
with a $15 a month app. Oh, that's cute. I'm sorry.
We just
Funny.
need you to swipe whatever up, down, left, right. Keep it moving.
Uh-huh.
Keep it moving.
And Ghost app.
And ghost the app. Orvin, speaking of ghosting, why do you think it's become more prevalent with dating today?
Because people are catfishing, no. Look, that's one of the reasons for ghosts. It's hard to even, and because I'm God's favorite, I'm going to use religion as an example. It's something that we can't see. People have a hard problem communicating and dealing with things that they can't see, and if it's not natural, if it's not tangible, if it's not touchable, they have a problem with it. It makes them uncomfortable. So they get out of there because it might not always be a flag, but a lot of times it is a flag. Sometimes they're just uncomfortable with the unknown, and it becomes prevalent in the dating world because you like, oh man, I'm just talking to this person and they don't like the same type of cereal I'm eating, so I'm getting out of here right now. People be making up excuses to run from finding a significant other or whatever, because the family could have been pressuring them into doing this. Everybody around them say, you need to find somebody you need to love. It's all types of reasons. I'm just giving a few examples. And they like, oh, I'm getting out of here because I don't like the way that this person used the toothpaste on the cap right now. So we're not going to take this any further. I don't know. All types of odd reasons. It's real bad in the dating world because people want an excuse to run. And then instead of just saying run, I'm gone. I'm out. Good. Peace. Deuce. You're not for me. I'm sorry. This didn't work out. I thought it was going to be something different, but I wish you all the blessings and blessings of your life. Matter of fact, tried another app. I'm on this app too, so you can try out that one, but I'm not going to be on there any longer, but you might find what you're looking for over there. It's another way to do it than just zoom. And as I like to take with the dogs, the zoomies, and you zooming out of it and you disappear. So,
Yeah. I do like what you're saying, especially it's just, unfortunately for some, it sounds like it's just an easy thing to do instead of the more grown up thing. And of course, we say all of this with understanding that there are certain situations that you do have to ghost because we don't want you to be in dire straits trying to do with how Shenanigans Inc. said in terms of, hey, is this the FBI? Listen, if we need to be calling the FBI, if someone is harassing you, if someone is stalking you, we are definitely on the guidelines of ghost. Do what you got to do. Get the authorities involved and all of that. So we don't want to make light of that. However, for some of you all, it's just about communication. Or the lack thereof. The lack thereof. Marseille, do you think ghosting can, and you probably can, tell us again, because you said it earlier, about justifying ghosting?
So again, like Stacy said, it really is, there are levels to it. Ghosting at a week, especially if you're just texting through the dating app, something like that, that's when it is, I believe it's okay to go. There are some people who, yes, they will give explanations to why they're leaving, but it's such a small window of time. I personally don't see a reason to announce my, especially if it's just the message, hey, how you doing? What are you doing? Really boring stuff. So at that point, I do believe that it is absolutely okay to just see your way out with the finger, gotta go to the bathroom. I won't be back though. But I do believe that is a fair level. And again, like Stacey said, once you get to that 6 months, if you're talking to someone for 6 months and you just disappear, that's a lot. Because at that point, you should know how to communicate with people. And I do believe a lot of people ghost because they just don't know a safe way to exit. They don't know the word to use. The person that might be on the other side, like, I've been love bombed. And at that point, with dating apps, when you're love bombed, there's almost no way to get out other than just disappearing. So
what's love bombed?
Love bombing is when someone basically just meets you maybe the first week or so, and they're saying how much they care about you and how they want to treat you and all of these other things, and you're just like, you don't even know me. How?
Oh, that sounds stalkerish. That sounds obsession. That sounds, is love bombing cradling on obsession or something?
It could be. I do believe that a lot of people love bomb, again, because of either emotional unawareness and things like that, where they just don't know how to love, or the people that they've seen love or in love are just not the best examples of what love is.
Yeah, that sounds love bombing you all. What's your experience out there? Let us know. Is love bombing really something that's happening and super prevalent Tell us your experiences. We would love to hear from you because I guess maybe in the dating world, you have had people that you are like, oh, how do you love me? You don't even know me. So I guess there are areas like that where you're just like, we've only known each other for a week. And that's pretty scary to say you love me in a week. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of scary. I feel know that's really good stuff. I definitely want to say for everyone again, we want to emphasize if anyone feels unsafe or if someone has exhibited any type of abusive behavior, ghosting could definitely be a safe option. However, in most situations, that's not dealing with that. We got to start getting back to some of those old things like just communication. But it could be exactly what Marseille has said and something that we have also shared on AAGP. Therapy, you all. Therapy, 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 to be able to have these difficult conversations. And the more these conversations that you're having, the easier you'll actually be surprised it does become. I'd like to go ahead and wrap us all up. Considering solutions, Stacy, tell us how can we encourage more ethical behavior when it comes to online dating?
Start with you or within. Definitely, it's an integrity issue. So, how do you want to be perceived? You want to see that person shows up like not a genuine person. So, first of all, you got to think about that, and just think of how you would feel on the other side of this if someone did that to you. Basically, just how do you want to be treated? How do you expect to be treated? Think about the other person.
I like that. Definitely when it comes to ethical behavior in online dating, how do you want to be treated? How does that come across? How do you want to represent yourself? And hopefully you all want to represent yourselves in ways that others are going to be able to see you, hear you, know it's actually you, know who they are eventually falling for. Is that picture up to date? Orvin, what are your thoughts in terms of how maybe online dating can become safer? Or what can we do to make it a little bit safer?
I think you should just first know what app you're on. Know where you're looking online. Know what social media platform you're on, so you know what the norm is around here. Without naming the names, if you're swiping right, you know what that website is for. If you know that you're a fish in the sea, you know what that website is for. I'm trying not to name them, but know the dating app you're on and plan accordingly. Be yourself and hope for the best. There's somebody out there for you and just like you that is scared on the other end, that doesn't want to be ghosted on the other end, that is actually looking for a true, genuine relationship. So just be yourself. And if you got to get out of there, don't be afraid to ghost them. Get on one out of there real quick. Delete the app, block the numbers, call the authorities, do what you got to do to keep yourself safe. And think of you first and not how the other person feels, because they're thinking about themselves first.
Oh, that's really good. Thank you for sharing that. Marseille, I will let you wrap it up. If there is something that you would like to share with the audience about online dating, ghosting, or catfishing, what would you like to share?
Two things. The first thing being trust your intuition and your own discernment. The second thing being read bios. Read through. Look at what people actually have written, what effort they put into the photos. If there's one photo and it's of 3 people and you don't know which one's which, don't do it. Don't swipe on just the look. Also swipe on what they have in their about me and their future desires and all of that. Because dating apps do now are really good with putting on profiles. Like, oh, wants kids, doesn't want kids, wants married, doesn't want to get. There's so, yeah. Just read. Reading is fundamental, truly.
I like that. So follow intuition, read, actually be that little investigator. Look at those photos. I know I said we're wrapping it up. How do we feel about people who don't leave photos though?
You
Don't
don't
leave-
swipe. You get them out of there.
I think that's just another ploy to have some mystery and the upper hand. So no, that's almost catfishing to me. No photo.
I think it
Okay.
depends on. I think it depends on the site you're on, because some relationship apps aren't for dating
Advice?
purposes. They're for quick dating purposes. So it might not be necessary to see a picture. I don't know. It depends on the person. Now, some people don't. People don't have a take for the correct visuals. They just like whatever. Like, I'm here for a whole nother reason. Like, I'm just looking for opportunity instead of. So be safe, people. No, I know I have plenty. Unfortunately, oh my goodness, I have plenty of people I've talked to that they didn't put a picture there, and they still went out on dates. So
Wow.
Wow.
That's
it's
so
something, right?
scary.
Person that went out with them, you mystery. Can't even see you. No, thank you.
Find it.
No, thank you.
Okay. You hear that? We are definitely recommending. Now, there may be people that come for us because we are recommending if we don't see that photo, you need to go. And not go out. You need to go. How do we do it?
Please get out of there.
Yeah.
And we're not saying like we mentioned things, just be safe out there. We're not saying that
Okay.
online dating cannot be successful because I believe Orban had the one. I know of a person that is still today successfully married and they met online. You just gotta be safe out there. And to Mercedes' point, follow your intuition. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is a topic that I am sure we will at some point come back to because there's a lot on this topic. So let me share some of my final thoughts. We definitely first hope that this has been helpful to you. We hope that you have found this information informative and thought-provoking. Now, when we're talking about this whole online dating thing, education, I think you heard this throughout what we're saying. Education is key. Dating apps and platforms can literally, I personally think that they could do a little bit more, but I also think that you all need to pay attention to what they're telling you to do, just like God's favorite told you. What particular app are you on? It's for a specific purpose. They have a specific agenda. Are you connected to the right one? I know that there are apps that are going to tell you don't give money, but y'all still give money. They tell you communicate within the app, but some of y'all, not all of y'all, some of y'all are like, oh, let's take this outside day 2. The app tell you don't take it outside. Don't look for the safety. Just be smart about it. Follow the guidance. I know we don't like to always follow rules, but sometimes rules are there for a reason. Now, before we go, we would love to hear your thoughts on this topic. We also need to know that Shenanigan Inc. has not been the only one that didn't get on that dating site. So let us know that. Let us know, have you experienced catfishing, or have you experienced ghosting, or have you ghosted? How did that affect you? Follow us on social media, join the conversation. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and share our podcast with your friends. Thank you for tuning in to the Almost Anything Goes podcast. Until next time, stay curious, keep the conversation going. See you next time.